A lot of investors in India, within India, track the United States more closely and the US markets. I want to ask you for your view of the US markets. We've seen how 2023 was. What do you sense as far as 2024 is concerned?
I think it's important to differentiate the types of companies that are doing well and the types of companies that aren't. As is mentioned, this magnificent seven is the term, that now 7 companies that are really dealing with artificial intelligence and that kind of development have done extremely well. And as a result, they become more expensive, of course. And when one looks at the markets, one looks at them as the leadership. If you look at the broader market has not performed very well. And so we now have a new era of disruption, great disruption from the new technologies of the old technologies. And so how that develops, I think, will be very important. If I was to deal with the markets as a whole, I would say it has gotten modestly or moderately expensive because those companies have then become hot. And so they're priced for very good. And then also the bond yields have come from about 5% to 4% down. And that, I don't think there's much more of a decline in the bond yields for reasons I can get into if you care to. But with that sort of 4% year, you're no longer going to have that impetus that affects all markets. All markets,
Absolutely.
When interest rates go down, all markets benefit from that. You're not going to have as much of that. So you have an environment where it's, let's say relatively fairly priced, maybe slightly expensive, but in this political environment. Because when we take that, we're now dealing with what will it mean for taxes? Right. What will it mean for regulations?
Right.
What will it mean for trade? If we have a Trump presidency, for example, there'll probably be 10% import duties on everything. And so it changes the calculations. Corporate taxes. It would make a big difference in corporate taxes. Who gets a letter? So that uncertainty will exist through this political.
And
so
then
right.
November would be a pivotal moment for the markets?
Well, yes. And it's not only those policies, but to get beyond those policies. Right now in the United States, there's even a question of the system. Let's say Supreme Court rulings. Will people believe sometimes that there's corruption in the Supreme Court if it doesn't give them what they want? And so you're seeing this internal tension and very big differences in values. For example, the more left would educate their children differently about sexuality than the ones in the right. Those are irreconcilable differences. So taxes and so on. So you're seeing movements to different populations move to different states about this. How that politics takes place and what we have. Can parties work together across party lines? It's become such that the government positions, in some cases being on a certain committee, has become politicized to find out who are the political enemies and how they can deal with the politics. So this political issue is a major issue in the United States of how that's reconciled. And that'll be very important.